That's recording. Go to that. Turn that on, and Lauren can speak.
Hello, 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 hello.
Beauty, we've got her. And now we'll talk to Glyn.
Do I need headphones or will you be on?
No, you'll be right.
Cool, perfect.
Headphones. Oh, actually, yeah, you will need them.
To hear?
To hear him. Those ones there will be fine. You can plug them in. I will just... Yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm.
No, Glyn speaking.
Hi, Glyn. It's Clayton at Flow FM. How you going there?
Good, and yourself?
Doing very, very well. I'm joined, Lauren's
Good.
here with us as well.
Hi, Glyn. How
Great.
you going?
You've had a good morning?
Yeah, it's been okay thus far. What about yours?
Yeah, no, busy. You know, it's always busy. That's okay.
Thank you for doing this. Just to give you a quick background, on Good Friday we're doing a variety of different little segments throughout the morning. I'm speaking to thus far to a priest, Father Mark, and we're also speaking to who's from South Australia, from Victoria, Reverend Judy, which I chatted to yesterday, and she was quite lovely. And just to break it up a bit, so it's not all heavily into the religious side of things, I knew Lauren had done camps, and she had told me about them before, so I thought that could be a nice thing, because it kind of, for me, ties in as well. So,
sure.
So I just wanted to talk there, give you a free kick as a plug for yourselves, and then sort of link it into a bit what we're doing, you know, with the message of Good Friday and all that sort of thing, and Easter and,
Great.
and all that.
Yep.
So I figured it could be in your wheelhouse to have a chat about, and also the difference is what happened last year, how COVID impacted, and then now moving forward, how you've had to change things to modify to go forward, so you can still keep doing what you're doing, although it's going to be slightly different. So
No, that's perfectly fine. That'll be fun.
No worries. Jolly good. Well, that's what we like to do. We like to keep it fun, a little bit light-hearted, and that, and still keeping with a message. And anything you want to do to embarrass Lauren, you have freedom to do that.
There you go.
Could be the other way around.
That'd be. Yeah, I don't know if I've got that much on her, but that's okay.
Oh, you're saying she's got something on you?
She may definitely have something on me, but that's okay.
Okay, all right. Well, she's just handing me a link to a website, so let me just get that up in front of me.
Sure.
All righty. Now, there is no time limit on this. If it goes 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. If it goes 15, it goes 15. I don't want it to be.
Worries.
I don't want it to be sort of like we have to get it in. So you'll know when I'm going to start to want to wrap it up, because I'll lead you to more to your website and giving yourself a free plug and how people can get involved and all that. You know how they got to contact. So you'll know that. All righty.
Sure.
So I'm all set to go. My end. If you're all set to go.
Yeah. No, I'm good to go.
Lauren, you're all good to go?
Cool, yep.
Yeah, she's wanting this over as quickly as possible. All right, here we go. And welcome back to our Good Friday program here on Flow FM. We're looking at different things today, and one of the things is for youth and youth camps. And we got into the youth camp mainly because a member of the Flow team here, Lauren Mace, as I get that right now, that she's married, Lauren Mace was involved in these youth camps, and I wanted to know a bit more about them. So before I ask Lauren about that, she'd also bring in the youth camp that she's involved in. It's through Young Life Australia, and we've got the CEO on the line for us as well, Glyn Henman. G'day, Glyn. How are you today?
Mate, I'm well. Great to be with you, and great to be with you, particularly as we celebrate Easter.
Very much so. Well, before I come to you, Glyn, and find out a bit more about what you do, I just want to come back to Lauren. So, Lauren, how did you and why did you get involved in youth camps? What was it that really drew you towards being involved in doing this?
I'd been doing camps with a few different organisations since I was in high school, either attending myself, and then as I got involved in the Barossa Valley, they had a organisation called Young Life, which doesn't only just do camps, they do programs weekly and reaching out in schools and things as well, and camps being a major one of those. So I love working with youth. I remember myself as a teenager, how hard it was, and needing a bit of guidance. So this organisation just fit really well because we can be involved in all aspects of these teenagers' lives, which is which is invaluable, I think. So, yeah.
So which have you found more rewarding from just being involved to now coming the other side of it? And I dare say it would be fair to say that you're mentoring now in your involvement. So which do you find more rewarding?
Yeah, it's definitely more rewarding mentoring, just seeing these teenagers go from not being sure of themselves, coming into themselves as individuals, breaking away from their parents a bit, but not really knowing how to do that, and just being able to provide a safe place for them to discover who they are, what they want to be when they get out of school, and how they want to act, and just being there as a support and a bit of a guidance as an adult figure rather than just their parents. So, yeah.
Well, Glyn, that fits in everything to what Young Life's all about. It perfectly does that. And you're all around Australia. I think we should point that out. And that, how does that feel when you hear Lauren talking about your organisation like that?
I mean, I just love the energy that comes when people come through the organisation. They just have great experiences along the way, and then want to give back. I think that's the key power in everything that we do. I think there's just real hope in that. I think for young people, and particularly at this point in time when sort of everyone's sort of struggling to make heads or tails of where we're at, there's the power. It's right there. It's in a local person. It's not necessarily in an organisation. The hope comes as we're with people together, and that's really the bit that I love about what Lauren's engaged with there.
You mentioned about the changes that we're all going through at the moment. How did, when everything started with COVID last year and the lockdowns, how did that affect your planning for your group and the camps that you, I dare say, had planned or were organising? What was the impact from that, and how did you work your way through it all?
I mean, it was a huge shift. I mean, with everything shutting down, and in particular, we do a lot of work in schools as well, and so access to young people and caring for them in their world, which is something that Young Life is really big on, just dramatically shifted. And because our camp structure is very much a relational structure, and these young volunteer mentors engaging with young people in their world and then bringing them into our camp environment, it just changed everything that we were doing. And everything moved from this face-to-face thing to having to move online and doing sort of Insta Club. And so we ran all these sort of Insta Club events, which, were great, and we love, the online thing, and particularly young people, they love all the social media stuff. But what we found along the way is that people just got tired of that as well, and particularly the young people that we were working with, because schooling was online, their whole world shifted to that online thing. And, whilst we're in there, really what we discovered along the way is that young people still wanted that human connection. And so, moving to Zoom, type engagement with them, which was more human in that sense that there was interaction in there, but that still was really hard. And so, as we came through, thinking through the camping process of how we engage young people in that, one of the big camps that we do is generally in summer in January, and we all go to Jindabyne. We have 300 people descend upon Jindabyne from around the country, and we couldn't do that. We just couldn't do it. There was not, borders were opening and closing quicker than you can, change your shirt, and all that sort of stuff was going on. So we had to shift, and so we pivoted quickly on that, and we ran more local camping. So we ran camps in South Australia, and the Barossa guys just did a great job, of which Lauren was a part of that core team, pulling that together. We did some stuff here in New South Wales, but even the New South Wales thing became a struggle because we had the Sydney lockdown, around Christmas time, which meant we couldn't travel to regional centres. So all our regional centres got together and ran a camp there, and then we ran some day camps in Queensland and some stuff in Tasmania as well. And so, everything shifted from being a national focus really back to a local focus, which at some levels, was bad because we just loved the national engagement and young people meeting each other from around the country. That's a really powerful part of what we do, to really engaging locally again, which is the essence of what we do week by week and month by month with young people in local communities. So it just had this huge impact, but at the same time, we saw some great results with young people just being encouraged in their faith, being encouraged to develop, a stronger sense of resilience and community, and actually really connecting deeply and finding hope for their world. So that was the stuff that we really loved and enjoyed, as much as it was hard work having to pivot and to change what we were doing.
All the way you were talking through then, Lauren kept nodding her head, so I knew when you mentioned her name and her local aspect, what she was doing, because that's what we've found here with her at Flow and the way she's like. You touched on faith there, and faith has been a strong part of what we've been discussing with various people this morning on our Good Friday program. But faith can be tested through all this as well. And so when you were dealing with people, and I'll use Lauren as the example, she's on a local level, you're on a national level. How did you keep your message of being strong and we'll get through this to her and to all the others that were scattered around the country on that local level? How important was it to get that message through, and how did you manage to do it? Because sometimes it's a phone call is one thing, but being face-to-face and seeing someone and looking into their eyes that message can get through a lot stronger. So how did you navigate all that?
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge shift for us. We were so used to doing face-to-face stuff because, we'd gather our staff, we'd gather our people as regularly as we could, because it is that human engagement in the context of developing our faith as well that is really important. And so, it was the pivot to Zoom, gathering our staff in Zoom meetings and continuing to engage face-to-face and to pray together in that context, to continue to share Scripture. I did a lot of video work in particular, where we were putting video stuff out for the staff and volunteers. A lot of written communication. We really ramped up our written communication. But at the end of the day, it is about people engaging together in community. And that's, I think that's the stuff that Jesus really modeled for us quite strongly, is that, these relationships, we're not in isolation. God doesn't bring us into this sense of isolation. It is about a community working together and engaging together and encouraging each other in that. And that's the bit that I think we've really, not just as an organisation, but I think as broader faith communities, not just the Christian community, but all faith communities in Australia, that sense of separation. But a real faith community is about what we can do together. Yeah. And I think that's the bit that God is really calling us to, is how do we be together? And again, as we work with young people, that's the bit that we want to do. We want to continue to bring people together to experience community and to experience God in the context of that community. And as they experience God in the context of that community, they have an encounter with Jesus as they meet with their local mentors and leaders. That's the power of it, and that's the power of the gospel in my mind.
Lauren, for you, how was it with the relationships that you'd already built up with people in this area? And were people reaching out to you because they couldn't do what they normally were doing? We were in lockdowns and that. How was it for you and you're on the ground on this local aspect?
Yeah, well, I work directly with more of the teenager age group. Yep. And I think they were going through all these things that they couldn't go to school, they were working from home, they couldn't see their friends, they couldn't do sport, they couldn't do dance, they couldn't do all these things. And
all the things that teenagers love doing.
Yeah, they were just stuck at home doing homework, and that's not fun. So we tried to reach out as much as possible. Our one-on-one mentors, I was more so trying to encourage the mentors of these teenagers to provide them with ways that they can reach out. So we had Club on Zoom, which is our local youth group, so we could at least sort of be face-to-face, send out messages just to check up with them, how they're going, games over text, or Among Us was great this year. We could play online and still have that interaction. But yeah, there were definitely kids that were struggling, and you could see that in when you saw them face to face, or at least when you saw them on Zoom. There was just such a need for that connection. So it was great to be able to encourage them. It was a great way to model that example of hope and model that example of connection, and just use Jesus as an example, and really say, look, this is all the hard things he went through. This is a hard thing for us, and yeah, we can do it together, and there is hope as well. So, as hard as it was still a great experience to be able to get closer. And I think a lot of people let go of a lot of things, any walls they had up, any preconceived, thoughts about how they should be. That was all kind of taken away. So, it was really, really good to be able to make those connections during this hard time. Yeah.
I also get a sense that you have a good relationship with Glyn, that he's accessible, that he's not one of those CEOs that stays at arm's length. I get the sense that he's right there involved and you can get in touch with him anytime.
Yeah, well, I'd seen Glyn around. I'd been volunteering with Young Life for 5 years, and I've recently just started one day working with them as well. And I only just met Glyn the start of this year, but he definitely has a lot of life, and you can tell that he's a youth. He's a CEO of a youth program, and that's what he loves, which is great. So, and he's come on camps, and I'm excited to go on a national camp when we can have them again, and really see him in his element. So.
Okay, that sounds like fun. Now, Glyn, Lauren was mentioning about some walls coming down with people that she was dealing with. I guess in a way you could sense that's a silver lining through things that happened last year. Were there other sort of silver linings and things that came out that you never thought you would actually have to adapt to and go to, but because of COVID, you've got these new strategies that have just sort of organically happened and come into play?
Yeah, I think, when I look at the thing nationally, we've always wanted to say we want this national community, but I think what we've really seen through this is that as communities come together on the ground, that there's this real sense of hope in the midst of all of that. And yes, we're a national body. Yes, we're all in this together. And I think there's real power in that. But there's also just power in a local community gathering together. And we've always believed that. I mean, that's something that we've always held true. But to see that actually function in the midst of, great hardship for young people in particular, I think that's been maybe not a shift, but a really deeply pleasant reminder of the power of what it means for communities to be engaged with young people. And it's not just a random group of adults. It's about adults really coming together and saying, our young people are really important. So how do we get on the ground with that and really engage with them and actually help tear down walls? Because I think, what we have seen in the midst of, there's this sort of deep sort of underlying anxiety that our young people are feeling about their future now. And so when an adult enters the world of a young person and says, we hear you belong, that is a powerful communicator that they are responding to, I think, in really significant ways. And I think the other great hope for me that came out of this was just, this is just sort of a bit of a random thing, an organisational piece, but the donor community, those who support what we do, they have really stuck with us in such incredible ways and have really encouraged us to say, keep going, we believe in what you're doing. And, our end-of-year financial appeal last year was one of the best we've ever had. And I go, that is phenomenal. As people responded to the need of trying to care for young people. And people didn't know what to do. But people get in and go, well, I don't know what to do, but here's something that I can do. And so whether it was a donor going, here's some extra money, a volunteer leader going, let me call that young person and just check in to make sure, whether it's a church or a prayer partner going, man, we're going to pray for you actively, or whether it's just another concerned adult in the community saying, hey, we don't know what to do, but we want to care for kids. And I think that real sense of community and coming together has been really a powerful thing for us as an organisation. I've loved that.
That's a brilliant thing that you just said. Thank you for sharing that with us. Lauren, for you, I know there'll be young people listening to us. Have you got a message for them because I could ask Glyn to give it, I could do it, but you're their age, you're their peers. So what message have you got for those young people listening to us right now that not sure about their future, but they want to reach out and they don't know what to do and how to do it? Why get involved with the youth camp, but what message do you want to give to them?
I know what it's like to be a high schooler and not know where I want to go, not know really what my morals are, not knowing not knowing what I'm passionate about and really struggling through that. It's one thing, I had great parents, which I'm very thankful for. A lot of kids don't. But even then, it's so hard to find yourself without having a mentor. And I think having a mentor is so important, and there are so many young adults out there like myself that want to connect with these young people, and we want to help you. We want to share our experiences. We want to just hang out. We want to just have fun. We want to remind you what it is like to have fun and take that pressure of life off. We're out there, and there are so many local youth organisations. There are so many organisations through churches. There are so many non-Christian ones as well. But there's just so many opportunities and so many people out there that do care about you, and we care about the young people coming up, because they are the future, and we want to help to guide you as best we can, not just leave you out there to figure it out all on your own, but we're out there to help, and we want to just chat, and we want to be there for you in the way that you need, not in the way that we want, not in the way that we want to appear to the community in this youth work that we're doing, but we really are there for them. So that's what we want to do, and there are people out there, and just reach out, Facebook, online, Google, whatever, something will come up. But we just want to be there for them.
Glyn, for you, how do we get involved in, if say parents out there want to get their kids to come to a youth camp, how do we get in touch with you? And maybe if they want to volunteer their skills so they can help with other young kids as well, how can we do that?
The simplest way is just to go to our website, younglife.org.au, and on there's a whole bunch of stuff on our camping and how to volunteer and the different programs that we run, different activities that are even running in different local communities around the country. It's all there, phone numbers, email addresses. Just go to the Where Are We page, and if you're in the Barossa Valley, click on the Barossa link and you'll get a link to Sophie, and she'll get in touch with you, or put Lauren in touch with you, or however that works. But www.younglife.org.au is the best place to go.
Glyn, thank you so much for spending time with us today on our Good Friday program here on Flow. I really thank you for being a part of it, and also to you, Lauren, as well. Happy Easter, and hopefully we can have a further conversation about what you do in the future as well. But thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Clayton. Appreciate it.
No,
Happy
thanks,
Easter
Clayton.
to everybody.
Thank you. We got it.
Beautiful.
Woo.
Easy as. See, no stress involved.
No, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. Well done, Lauren.
Thanks.
And if you ever need to reach out or anything and do something else with us, let me know. Happy to do so either through Lauren or get in touch. Happy to sort of keep promoting what you do, because I think it's a very viable thing.
Yeah, well, I'm across in a couple of weeks. So in May, actually, I'm coming across. So, if you want to do something in the studio, we could do that as well. Absolutely,
more than welcome to. Would love to do that. I would really love to. It'd be a good follow-up.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Lauren, I'm coming on the 21st or 22nd, Lauren, somewhere around there. 21st, I think it is, Friday the 21st.
The pancake thing, so,
of May. So, anyway, we can work on something. That'd be great.
That'll be fantastic. Yeah, I'd really look forward to that.
All right, well, thank you, Clayton. Appreciate that.
No worries. Thank you, Glyn. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Thanks, Lauren.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Take care. Bye now.